Good day, you absolute legends. Warrior of the Sin, brother and sisters of the stars, hear me now. We stand at a crossroads in the vast expanse of Euclid. Our hearts are heavy but unbroken. At Rossus we face the crucible of war, and though the tides turned against us, let no one say the Sin fell without a fight. Our ships burn bright in the void, our resolve a beacon in the darkness. The enemy may claim victory, but they cannot claim our spirit, our fire, our destiny. Rossus was not the end, it was merely a chapter, a lesson carved in starlight and sacrifice. We, the Sin, are forged in the fires of defeat, tempered by the will to rise again. Our enemies underestimate us, believing us broken, scattered like dust across the cosmos. But they forget. We are the storm that gathers, the tide that surges, the blade that never dulls. We are the Sin, and we will not yield. Euclid is ours by right, a galaxy waiting to be liberated. We fight not for glory alone, but for the order of unity, for a future where the Sin stands as conquerors. And I, your leader, vow to you now, I will ascend as emperor of this galaxy. Not just for power, but to forge a legacy that will echo through the ages. Under my banner, we'll bring liberation to Euclid. A dynasty won through courage, through sacrifice, through victory. Our next battle looms on the horizon, a crucible where we will prove our might. We have chosen our target, a place where the Sin will plant our flag and shatter our foes. The details, however, those will come later in this broadcast, a spark to ignite your anticipation. But for now, know this, our next fight will be our triumph. We will not falter, we will not break, we will win, and the galaxy will tremble at our name. So Sin Militia, repair your ships, sharpen your blades, and stoke the fires of your resolve. The war for Euclid is far from over. We will liberate this galaxy, star by star, system by system, until every corner sings our name. The Sin Militia will rise, and I will lead you to victory as your emperor. For Euclid, for the Sin Militia, for our destiny. So ladies and gentlemen, Sin Militia, as you know, this war right now is going on, and it is taking off in ways that I could never even possibly imagined. But war and facing on the battlefield is only half the battle. There are so many other things at play, especially through our Discords. For example, yesterday evening, I put out this message. And this message was very clear. I said, okay, commanders, remember this is the system. We will attack within the next 2 hours to be ready. Remember to post this in fleet, so your seconds in command can organize the assault in waves. And then I left these glyphs. Now, why did I do this? So I made this available very publicly on my Discord because I know that the enemy factions have spies everywhere, as I have spies in all of their Discords. And this is all part and parcel of the evolution of what is going on here. Honestly, it has just taken to whole new levels. But I waited for 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes, because I knew that their spies would go ahead and screenshot this very message and send it as an alert to all of the enemy factions' Discord. And just like clockwork, that is exactly what happened. Once I seen the screenshots being shared in other Discords, I deleted that message and then I waited. But why did I wait? I didn't go ahead and act. I didn't even reply. But why, you may ask? And this was very simple. This was not a real attack, but this was another act of revenge against their victory at Rossus. You see, the coordinates that I put down, and it's something I left in there as a clue to see if they would even recognize, but since that they are so hasty and don't do their fact checking properly, the coordinates I left was actually the planet for Rossus, and virtually the entirety of all of their factions all descended back on Rossus, thinking that I was going to attack again. But then they waited, and then they waited some more, and then they waited for about half an hour, until I sent this at everyone. The message I sent was a ruse. I was going to let this go on for longer as it's payback for the victory, quote unquote. I knew if I posted that message and waited 10 minutes and delete the message, it would be long enough for @Rocker, which is already a very well-known spy within our Discord that is working for example, Good Guys Free and the other factions, or someone else to screenshot it and spread it, thus making you go on a wasted journey and hang around a random system for half an hour. Was going to be longer, which it really was, because I was loving once I posted this and I seen everybody start making the comments and everyone getting rallied and everyone going over there. I was just laughing so much reading all these comments, you know, people waiting for the Sin Militia to turn up. It was very funny, I'm not gonna lie. I am laughing in hysterics watching all the comments flood in. The official invasion will be announced in my next video, as I already said. Thanks for the laughs. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of shenanigans. This isn't just a typical war. There is spies, there is false flags, there is everything. Honestly, if you want to get involved in this, right now, ladies and gentlemen, right now, this is your time. I have an updated link to my Discord, to the Sin Militia, in the video description down below. Go ahead, click that link, join the Discord, and get involved in all of this chaos. It is amazing. Now, before I do release the next coordinates for our Sin Militia attack, I want to go ahead and speak about the rules of engagement. Now, since this event is open to absolutely everybody, whether you're on console, PC, or any other platform, then we need to keep the fight fair. And by that, we cannot allow any type of god tier ships to be used in the fight. And this goes for anything like overly improved stats way beyond the game's capabilities. Your ship must be vanilla with normal installs. That's it. There is no leeway with this. No god tier ships, no mods, nothing like that. You must turn up with a normal ship. And anybody caught breaking these rules can report with video evidence to either myself or any other faction leader for us to take care of. And by that, we mean you will be instantly removed from our factions. Anybody caught doing this, you will not be welcome to join this event. And just remember as well, if you are fighting someone who you suspect of this behavior, then all you need to do is just turn off your PvP. Once you do that, the god tier ships will mean absolutely nothing. Now, the second rule that we have in place is the 3 life rule, and this resets on every single event. So whether we're attacking a new planet or defending a new planet, you have 3 lives, and it starts with each new battle. And what that means is, once you die 3 times, that's it. You must immediately leave the system, and without hesitation. The reason for this is because otherwise the war would just last forever on one planet, and we all want it to come to a conclusion. We all want to know who's won, and whoever is left in that system, depending on what faction they belong to, means that that system is either won by that faction or defended successfully by that faction. So it's a way for everything to nicely come to a natural conclusion. That is how we are monitoring the victories here. Now, the next rule that we have here is one to try and determine who is on whose side, because in the heat of the battle, one thing that I noticed, and a lot of players noticed, is it's really hard to differentiate on who is on whose side, especially when we're all getting to a slug match in space. Now, there are a few ways that we can do this. Now, you can rename your ship to, for example, your clan tag. So for mine would be Sin and then a random ship name. Or what you can do is that and put on a colored trail for your ship. If you wanted to do that, the colors of the Sin are naturally going to be red. So put on red trails for the Sin Militia, and that way then when you're flying about, it'll be more easier for us to recognize who is on whose team. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, it does go without saying, but the game mode that you need to be playing on is just normal gameplay mode, normal level, normal everything. So all you need to do is go into your difficulty settings in your options menu and just select it from whatever it is that you currently use, whether it be survival or creative. Just put it to normal, and that way then it keeps a level playing field for everybody. Now for things like multi-tools, again, no god tier multi-tools are allowed. Just like with the ships, everything must be for vanilla gameplay. It must all be gotten legitimately in game. So that includes all the multi-tool stats, for example, must be completely and utterly vanilla with the upgrades, the same for Exocraft. Everything that you use cannot be done via mods, cannot be done via god tiering, cannot be done by save editors. It must all be 100% vanilla gameplay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for, the official announcement for the next incursion, for the next invasion. We are going to be attacking this system right here that is currently being held by the Brood Crew Rebellion. Now, the Brood Crew Rebellion have faced me many times before, such as in our earlier series of Light Nor Sky, where we attempted to play Light Nor Fire in No Man's Sky, and we had 2 seasons of this, and there was a constant pain in my buttocks. However, this time around, we are going to get our revenge, so I've selected them as our next target. Now here on screen, ladies and gentlemen, are the glyphs. Prepare, we are going to attack today. At the end of this video, the war is on for this system. So after you watch this, after you get your coordinates, everybody from the Sim Militia, jump to this system, start taking control, and once we defeat the enemy, we shall reign supreme and we will conquer this system.